Hi everyone. Okay, we're going to get started now. Welcome to today's Training Link AAT webinar. So I'll just give you an idea of what's coming up in the next 60 minutes. So we've got, in a short while, we'll be handing over to Jamie Hughes from AAT, who's going to tell you all about the different AAT qualifications and take you through the different pathways. Then after that, we'll talk about Training Link, who we are, what our courses are like, what it's like studying with us, what's like studying online. And then we'll have a chat with some of our students. We've got one of our students today, Alina, who enrolled on levels 2, 3, and 4 accounting. She's now halfway through level 4, so we'll have a chat with her. And then we'll open things up. We'll hopefully get through as many questions as we possibly can from you guys in the Q&A. So without further ado, I'd like to hand over to, well, I'd like to introduce Jamie Hughes. Jamie, you with us?
Yes, I am. Thanks for inviting me, Stephen.
Fantastic stuff. Okay, I'm going to let you share your screen now, if that's okay.
Brilliant. Okay, just bear with me one moment.
Sure.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I'm just going to basically give you a bit of an introduction to AAT and how to get started. But yeah, feel free to ask any questions throughout. We've got people obviously supporting in the chat. So I'm just going to pick out a few of the main points here, really. So firstly, why choose AAT? So our qualifications are open to everyone. So there's no formal entry requirements or age restrictions. All that we do advise is that you start at a level that's relevant to your experience and your knowledge. And secondly, AAT is internationally recognised. So we've got students in over 100 different countries and members in various different countries as well. And I guess what that leads on nicely to is that AAT is highly sought after by employers. So if you was to do, for example, a job search on websites such as Reed, you'll see that a lot of employers that are recruiting for accounting and finance positions are looking for people that are AAT qualified or studying towards AAT. And then I guess what that leads on to lastly is the fact that you can work in any industry. So pretty much every industry, obviously you have an accounting and finance function. So that means you could, for example, work in property or fashion or sports, but really you've got those real world practical skills from the AAT qualification. So in terms of our qualifications, so we've got quite a range of qualifications, also including bookkeeping short courses. But today I'm going to focus on our core qualifications, which are accounting qualifications. So as a starting point, we have our foundation certificate, which is level 2. So this is ideally for people that are career changers, who have no prior experience in accounting, or school leavers as well. So predominantly at level 2, you're covering double entry bookkeeping, also basic costing and computerized accounting. And it generally takes about 6 to 12 months to complete level 2, but it all really depends on how you study. And you also have 5 units and 5 assessments, including 1 synoptic assessment. So in terms of synoptic assessments, we have these at each level, and it's just a general assessment that's more comprehensive. So it's basically testing you on your overall knowledge of that level rather than individual units. And then you've got your level 3, so that's the advanced diploma. So that's more so for people that have previous experience in accounting, are currently working in accounting, or if you've got a relevant A-level qualification as well. And the key element that's introduced at level 3 is actually management accounting. And you also cover other units such as reports and returns and final accounts for sole traders and partnerships. For level 3, you're looking at generally 9 to 12 months to complete, but again, that can actually vary. And you've got 5 units again and 5 assessments at level 3. And then lastly, you've got the final level. So that's the professional diploma, also known as level 4. And this is more so for people that have an equivalent university degree, or you've studied the previous AAT levels. For this, you have 6 units, 6 exams. 4 of those are mandatory units and 2 are specialist units. So you have an option of 5 different areas that you can go into. So for example, if you wanted to specialize in tax, there's a tax unit, and there's also various other options such as auditing or credit control. So that's our qualifications in a nutshell. In terms of assessment, so they're all computer-based, so you can sit them in an assessment venue, an external venue, or we have a number of units that you can sit through remote invigilation. So that's essentially sitting your exam online from home. If you're a distance learning student, so you're studying online, you will need to go to an external assessment venue or sit it remotely. We have an assessment venue search, so you can pop in your postcode and have a look where all your local venues are and book directly with them. And each assessment lasts around 2 to 3 hours. And as I've mentioned, you've got a synoptic assessment at each level. And all assessments are based on work-related competencies. And you can see on the right there the grading, so it's a pass, merit, or distinction. In terms of the ways that you can study, so today we're going to be focusing mainly on distance learning, but you can study in a classroom, so the traditional form of learning in a local college or with a private training provider, and you can study part-time or full-time. Then you have distance learning, which is a flexible way of studying online remotely. You can pretty much enroll at any time as well, but I'll let Stephen go into more detail about distance learning. Then lastly, you've got blended learning. So that's a mixture of the two. She might be part-time in a classroom and part-time studying online. In terms of fees, there's 3 different fees. So you have the fee that you pay to your training provider. That can vary quite significantly, again, depending on the training provider and the way you're studying. So we just advise that you research your training providers. You've then got the joining fee to AAT, which includes your AAT student membership. And then lastly, you've got your AAT assessment fees, and all the fees are available on our website. In terms of where to start, so starting out, you need to choose the relevant level. So we have our AAT skill check test, and that will recommend you a level to start on. So once you've done that, you then need to identify a suitable training provider. So you can use our Find a Training Provider search, where you can search for all of the training providers that are approved with AAT, or you could also enroll directly with Training Link. And then once you've done that, you'll need to find your nearest assessment venue if you're studying through distance learning. And then you enroll with your training provider, and lastly, register with AAT as a student. And once you've registered as a student with AAT, you'll also have access to online resources such as our learning portal, and you'll receive regular newsletters and updates from AAT. And then finally, in terms of the professional pathway, so as I've discussed, you've got our level 2 certificate in either bookkeeping or accounting. Then you can progress onto the level 3 diploma in bookkeeping or accounting. Once you've completed level 3, because you cover the bookkeeping units, you then have an option to actually apply for AAT QB. So that signifies that you're a qualified bookkeeping member with AAT. Once you've completed level 4, the final level, you can then apply to become a full member with AAT, and you have MAAT status. So that signifies to clients that you're qualified, and you're also kept up to date with your CPD and latest updates. And then there's various pathways after you've completed level 4. So if you wanted to progress, for example, onto chartered accountancy, you will receive exemptions with various awarding bodies such as ACCA, ICAEW and CIMA. Or you could go down another route and become a tax professional. And another route you could do as well is become self-employed. So there's loads of different options once you've completed level 4. And I believe that is the last slide. And open to any questions if anyone has any.
Okay, thank you very much for that, Jamie. I think we're probably going to, we'll have a look at the questions a little bit later on towards the end, but I can see them already piling up, which is good. Okay, so who are Training Link? Well, we've been around for 25 years now, but actually, is it 26 years in May?
It's 26 years this May, yeah.
So starting 1996. And the thing that makes us different from a lot of online training providers is that we just focus on 3 different subject areas with subject area specialists. So accounting, bookkeeping, and payroll. And this is all we do. So and we think that because we've got this niche focus, this niche approach, it keeps us focused on making sure that the support is the best it can possibly be, that the materials are the best they can possibly be. We want things, everything we put out there has got to be of the highest possible quality. And we think that this concentrated focus gives us a key advantage over many of the other providers out there, and that's control. Because we've got 100% control over all of the learning materials that we provide. There are, some providers approach this subject by buying in textbooks from third-party providers. And I think that the downside of that can be that the training provider is forced to adapt their learning experience. They're adapting it based on materials that they haven't written. So I think the great thing about what we do is that our books, tests, additional resources, they all work together to offer a cohesive learning experience. And it means that what we can do is, because they are our own books, we can actually look at the exam results that we get. We can look in detail at the student feedback that we get, and we can change them, we can improve them. Because, if put something out there and, we can change it, we can improve it, we can proof it. But ultimately, the most useful feedback that you're ever going to get is feedback from students themselves. And, when you occasionally, you're dealing with a student and if there's one particular area they need help with, we can look again at the materials and either improve the course books and just tweak it, put in extra examples, whatever that may be, or we can put in extra resources into the online learning system. And I think that's definitely a better approach to have that level of control.
Yeah, it is key. If you're buying generally books off the shelf, which is what's generally used within colleges and a lot of training providers, that you're teaching based on what someone else has produced. It's standardized. It's just one way. There is no control there whatsoever to adapt that material and say, well, actually, this section doesn't work. So you're having to say to your student, ignore that section, or don't do this and don't do that. So yes, buying off the shelf is much cheaper from a college or training provider's point of view. But that just doesn't work for us, because we want to have that control over, in other words, give our students more control as well over being able to do what they need to do within a certain process that we know that works. So yeah, our material has evolved and is continuing to evolve, and has been doing so for 26 years. Yeah. And it will always evolve. We will never sit here and say it's absolutely perfect at the moment, because next year is something slightly different. But we are in a position where we can instantly react to any changes or any change in habits, or the way we are with technology, or the use of technology, to bring it together and not have to rely on someone else to do that for us.
It's a regular internal discussion, be it, amongst the tutors when they get, tutor feedback, student feedback, or when they get the exam results come through each month, where, every result is scrutinized to make sure that, there's a way of just nudging those pass rates even higher.
Yeah.
So our courses are designed to make sure you've got the best possible chance of gaining your qualification. But as I've discussed with Jill in the head of qualifications, we've had this chat many times. The Training Link way is to make sure that it's not just about passing the exams. We're here to make sure that you can do the job to the best of your ability, and that you're ready when you get that job that you're after. You're ready to keep climbing that career ladder. So it's not just about passing the exams, although obviously that's absolutely vital. It's about making sure that the knowledge, the skills and the processes are in here. So we've got a very proud history of making sure that, you know, many of our students become freelance bookkeepers or kickstart their accounting career. And we've been very well rewarded over the almost 26 years that we've been around. We've won over 20 awards, including AAT's Best New Training Provider 2018. And we've been named ICB's Training Provider of the Year for the last 10 years in a row. ICB Tutor of the Year 3 times, although actually we've got
6.
We've got more tutors in the building that have won that award because, well, you've ended up poaching them.
Yeah, kind of.
So,
no,
you know,
as the company has grown, we've needed more tutors, we've needed more help, and we're fortunate that we have other award-winning tutors that have joined us since. So that's great, and that's the type of tutor that we want anyway. But to us, it's great because if an award-winning tutor comes and wants to work with us, then that shows that we're doing something right as well. In other words, they're sharing our ethos of putting the student first, making sure to the absolute best of our ability that every student passes their exam first time, every time. That's the ethos. That's the ambition. And we want to share that. We want our tutors to share that with us, every person in the building.
So why study online? I think at its core, you get to dictate the pace of your own progression. So if you need to fast track your studies, you can. If you prefer to study at weekends, that's fine. And if you can't stick to the same scheduled days, this works as well. It's completely flexible. Now, flexible, I think, really is the key word, because you get some students that really want to, they want to get through their course as quickly as possible, which is possible. You know, we encourage you to kind of, you know, find the right pace for you. But we've had students who, you know, George Tampakas, who got through levels 2, 3 and 4 in 11 months, and that just wouldn't be possible in a typical college environment. It's just, you wouldn't be able to do that. You know, we've had Hannah Grace and Gato, I think, got through pretty quickly as well. That might have been a bit longer. And she ended up with distinctions at every level and ended up in the top 1% of AAT students in the country, possibly worldwide.
We have students that complete level 2 in 3 months. It's just how much time a student, how much energy a student can put into their learning. But we will go at the same pace.
Yeah, and there are other students as well who find that this suits them because they need to take longer than a typical college environment because they need to balance, you know, work commitments and family commitments, and that's great as well. That's what's great about studying online. I think the caveat that I would add in there is that the flexibility is wonderful, but you do need to show a level of commitment to your studies. So a study plan, I think, is absolutely essential.
You have the attitude of, I'll do it when I like. That's non-specific. It means you'll never do it because you'll never like. But if you have a regular pattern, you say, okay, I'm going to do 3 hours or 4 hours or whatever it may be on a certain day every week or even every day, try to stick to it. We know that things happen. You know, life gets in the way, doesn't it? But if you've got a schedule or even a goal to say, I want this done in a certain time, what I say to people all the time is work out how many hours that we're recommending that you need to study for the qualification. So if it's 150, you want to do it in a year, that's 3 hours. That's 3 hours a week.
Yeah.
So you can break it down by that. You can say, okay, I need to do 150 hours study. How am I going to do that? And that can actually be quite motivating rather than saying it's months or years.
Yeah.
It's hours.
Yeah.
So it's about you putting in those hours.
So your learning experience with Training Link includes award-winning tutor support by email and phone, up-to-date, easy to follow bespoke printed workbooks for every unit. Here they are. Just grab one from downstairs. Here's one I wrote earlier. But yeah, again, talking about the level of control that we've got. So you've got practical hands-on activities to ensure you get knowledge and skills. Again, repeating the point that this is about making sure that it's up here, that the processes, that the knowledge is in your head and you're ready to do the job to the best of your ability, not just get through the exams. Online enhanced learning resources. Now, it took us a while to choose the right online learning environment, because I'm sure I did it when I looked into it, there was something like 1,500, 2,000 virtual learning environments to choose from. So we were very, very careful with choosing the online learning platform. We ended up choosing something called Rogo. And the reason we think Rogo is as fantastic as we do is because it is designed from the ground up to handle and work with finance-based qualifications, and most of them are not. So right from the get-go, if you've chosen the wrong environment, it might be a little bit more challenging to offer accounting-based qualifications. This was designed to do the job. And yeah,
the creator of Rogo actually set out to just do that. It wasn't about producing something that was for the whole world. It was about just focusing on the accountancy industry. And that's right. The system itself was designed and built for that. So it handles and manages accounting style answers and formats. And at the end of the day, they are also actually they provide the testing platform for some of the accounting awarding bodies anyway. So it just seemed to us to actually be the perfect thing to do. Why try again, a bit like with the books, try to make something that isn't quite right to something so that it will work. We didn't want to do that with another e-learning platform and say, well, we need to mess around with this to make it work. This one came straight out and it is already built for the purpose. So it works.
So the online learning platform Rogo, in there you'll find PDF versions of the course books, assignments, tests, mock exams, and also over the last 12 months, we've spent a lot of time working on a suite of videos. And I'm just going to show you a little clip of the videos that we've been putting together over the last 12 months. Here you go.
We are pleased to unveil our collection of videos, and more of them are being added to our online learning platform. Our team of writers and tutors have spent much of this year scripting, shooting and animating a suite of videos to further enhance our study material. So if you want some extra clarification of a topic or additional examples when working through your books, just log into our online learning system and watch Training Link's tutors take you through it.
Okay, so yeah, we spent a lot of time working on those videos because I think when we looked at it, we wanted to make sure that we got the right format, that they were professionally scripted and professionally edited. And I think there's a lot of content out there now, particularly on YouTube, where you've got very long 60-minute sessions. And I think that it's a challenge for anyone to sit there and watch a long video that will hold your attention. Attention spans are definitely a problem. I think we came to the conclusion that the format of our videos needed to be no more than around 10 minutes, I think, per video. Most of them around 5 minutes, 7 minutes, things like that. And we decided to tackle the topics based on student feedback. Again, this goes back to the point about control. We looked at all the student feedback we were getting, and whenever there was a topic where you're thinking, this student here needs that little bit of extra help,
it's just
maybe a video. Maybe a video would help this person. And then, over the last 12 months, so we've scripted them, edited them, animated them, and we're getting some really good feedback from them as well, which is great.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at, an average lesson video, even standing in a classroom live, that to listen to something for 60 minutes, we are really likely to fall asleep or at least lose our concentration. But we looked at it and thought, well, you don't really need to see that whole 60 minutes. You don't need the whole thing. So by getting the feedback from our students, we were able to target directly the areas that people actually needed to listen to and needed to see in a different format, because they already got the rest of it. So why would we want to bore them with that? Everyone's getting these questions right. We only needed to focus on the areas where people struggle a little bit. So therefore, you're cutting the 60-minute video or lesson down to 10 minutes. And we've managed to do that. And we're continuing to do it. We're still producing more.
So your learning experience, it also includes 24/7 assignment marking with instant marking and personal tutor feedback. Student Services Department, which is open 7 days a week. And everything you need is included with the course material. You don't need any extra add-on resources or any added reference material fees, etc.
It's just AAT fees.
Yes. Yeah. And you've also got access to Student Street. Now, Student Street's an interesting one because I think we looked around, we really wanted a peer support group, because one of the only downside that can happen with online learning is that you do miss out a little bit on the interaction with other students. So it was vital for us to find a solution to that, find a way where students could chat and exchange ideas, and, if they're struggling, ask some questions of other students as well. So we created Student Street. Now, Student Street, we looked at maybe creating our own app or something like that. But in the end, the best way that we could find was actually to put it on Facebook. So we'll invite you into our Facebook group, Student Street. And in there, you can talk to other students, talk with tutors. And there's over 2,500 members in there. In fact, I think it's grown since then. I think it's close to about 2,700 now.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
And there's a lot of questions in there. There's a lot of very active students. You tend to find students that have actually they've finished studying with us and they still like to help out and yeah.
The key to it is they're real people and not robots. And that was it for us, that we've got real people as students. So why would we want to do anything any differently? And students will speak to students. They'll help each other out and engage and even socialize. But we've also got the professional side of it built in there, where we've got the tutors. We've got professional qualified tutors also in there, keeping an eye on things, making sure that someone doesn't start giving out the wrong information. So yeah, and it was actually really that simple. Again, you can look around at all these different things where you can actually spend millions of pounds on something that doesn't actually work any better than this. Because we've all got a Facebook account. It's
very easy in that respect. And also we've talked about everything that's included. And of course, you can actually sample that anyway. There is a free trial available for our AAT courses, which we'd encourage you to check that out. I think the link should be in the chat, I think. So yeah, like I said, there's no need to learn how to use a new app. Student Street is available on Facebook. Now, the bespoke course material, the printed books, the videos, the extra tests, the extra resources, and Student Street as well, the tutor support. It all adds up to nudge those pass rates ever higher. This is why our pass rates are, for the last 12-month period that's available.
And the 12 months before that. It's consistent. It's consistent.
But you're talking 93.5% for level 2 accounting, and that's 10.5% higher than AAT's national average. At level 3, it's 92%, and that's 19% higher than AAT's national average. And even at level 4, it's 77%, which I think is 15.8% higher than AAT's national average.
The key to this, and it's a question that we're asked quite often, what is your pass rate? Now, pass rates are great. They're absolutely fantastic. But no one ever asked the question but how many exams is that based over? Is it 2, 3, 4, 5 people or whatever? Well, these statistics that you're seeing here at the moment are based on over 2,000 exams taken. That is extremely high and extremely consistent. And we do this year in, year out. To us, it's about getting a student through to the exams in the first place. Don't just let them drag along and maybe they will, maybe they won't. We're committed, fully committed to getting students through to their exams and achieving those levels of pass rate. So we're not just talking about a handful of students here. We're talking a couple of thousand students over a year to reach those figures. It's extraordinary, to be honest.
So we had a chat recently with some of our AAT students. So I'm just going to play another video.
Attending college is really impossible because you can't make the same say Tuesday and Thursday evening every week. I can't make the same time every week. Distance learning for me is ideal.
You can go at your own pace and work to your own ability.
They provided a finance package so you could pay interest free if you wanted to.
My study experience has been really good so far. I find there's a lot of material available. It's not just the courses itself, you have a lot of additional tests, assessment, questions.
I would definitely recommend the tutor support. It's better than I've experienced before in a classroom when there's a class full of students trying to get the attention of the tutor.
Not only could I reach them by email if there was something that wasn't clear, I could also contact them by phone.
You feel like you've got almost like a personal service from them.
I would give Training Link a 9 out of 10 because I think the overall experience with them is just really good and makes me feel confident.
I would recommend Training Link. I think it's really good.
I would recommend Training Link as a training provider, and I will carry on studying with Training Link in the future.
Okay, so we'd also encourage you to do your own research, whichever training provider you do choose. Do your own research about and reviews. I think are a very good indicator. The independent reviews that are out there. Now, one of the things that you'll find when you look at our reviews is that they tend to be very detailed, because unlike there's a lot of companies out there in any industry, and the trend now is to request a review at the point that someone has bought a product. So very often you go on FIFO or you go on Trustpilot, and you find that there's lots of these 5-star reviews, and they say things like, I ordered it, it arrived within 24 hours, something like that. We don't want reviews that are reviewing their checkout process and the speed of delivery. We want people to talk about the experience they've had with studying with Training Link. So you tend to find they tend to be a lot more detailed, particularly the ones on Trustpilot. So, like I say, please have a look at some of the reviews that are out there and the detail that is in those reviews. And we've also got 27 detailed case studies from former students. I think I mentioned earlier on about Hannah, who, she studied levels 2, 3, and 4 with us, and ended up in the top 1% of AAT students. An interesting thing about Hannah is that, very often we might just assume that some, our students they already come from finance backgrounds or something like that. With someone like Hannah, that's not the case at all. Hannah was actually a choreographer. And when I asked her about, were there any kind of transferable skills? And she actually said that it was the detail focus that she got, having to learn a particular dance move, and just, she had a real obsessive eye for detail. And she found that was something that she carried over and worked very, very well when she was studying her AAT qualifications.
The majority of our students have no prior experience or knowledge of bookkeeping and accounting or payroll.
Yeah.
Yes. And this is what you would expect, And also, surprisingly, there are a lot of people that come to us who have lots of experience with accounting and bookkeeping, who actually, because they've been taught on the job, haven't actually learned the standardized processes for doing everything in order to be able to pass an exam. In other words, do you know your stuff? Yeah,
tends to find there are gaps in some people's knowledge, and we get that a lot, where people come to us to kind of have a more formal education so they can get rid of those gaps. Now, we've actually got a special offer today on the some of our courses, and here's Lauren to give you the explanation of that, and also some exclusive webinar codes.
Hi, I'm Lauren and I'm a student advisor here at Training Link. We're almost ready to answer your questions from the live chat, but first I wanted to let you know about this exclusive offer to all webinar attendees. You can save an extra £50 off an individual AAT course, or the Level 2 and 3 combined course with the checkout code AAT Webinar 50. Or if you're ready to enrol on our AAT Levels 2, 3, 4 combined package, you can save an extra £150 with the checkout code AAT Webinar 150. The AAT Levels 2, 3 and 4 combined package includes AAT registration and membership fees worth £155. Training Link's bespoke printed workbooks containing lessons, examples, activities and assessments. Access to our online materials, which includes brand new video content and mock exams. Up to 69 months award-winning tutor support, which is by email and telephone. Extensive exam preparation, and our Student Services Department is operational 7 days a week. Training Link Student Street community is also yours to engage in 24/7. This usually costs £1,845, but with the webinar discount, the price comes down to £1,695. Finance is also available over up to 3 years from only £54 a month. Take a look at our website for full details and terms and conditions. If you have any further questions, I'm happy to help. Just send me an email at lauren.beery@traininglink.co.uk.
Thank you very much for that, Lauren. We'll flash up the details of the special offer again a little bit later on after the student case studies and the Q&A. So, student case studies. Alina, can you turn on your camera and mic? Hello.
Hello.
How are you today?
Good, thank you. Quite interesting, all the information, and I enjoy them. Yeah.
Wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff. Would you be able to tell me a little bit about your background, how you got into accountancy?
So I came in the UK from Romania. I came here 5 years ago, and I work as an accountant in Romania, and I have actually a practice there, a small one. When I came here, I started to look for a job because I thought my experience and my knowledge, it will fit in the accountancy practices here, which I felt, and I realized I need to upgrade them. So firstly, I enrolled with the ACCA, and I started to prepare for my exams, but I realized I have some gaps. There are differences between accountancy in Romania, and especially on the bookkeeping and what's in here. And I said, okay, so I need to find another way. I need to go one step back and fill my gaps. So I look for an AAT provider. I look online and I saw lots of providers. I sent some emails, and Training Link was the first one who sent me a response, and a really nice one. So I started with them. I signed in November, if I remember well. And my first exam, level 2, was in December 20.
Fantastic. So what's your experience? Have you studied online before, or is this the first time you'd studied online?
I studied before online. I did the Sage 50 account, payroll. I did some courses online because, and why I chose it online, it was the reason why. It's that I have 3 children. And I move in England, so I need to feed them in England, and I found a full-time job, and I need to manage with all these things. So yeah, it was the best way, and I can't stick in a class, to be honest. I want to move forward, and it's my own time, and it's much better for me.
Okay. We'll also, I'll come back to you in a second. Alina. I'd like to also introduce Iona, who's joined us, another one of our students. Hello, Iona.
Hello.
Hello. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful stuff. I'd like to ask you the same question. So can you just explain a little bit about your background and how you got into accountancy?
So I actually was working with children before. And I then had my own child, and because of having her and wanting to stay at home with her, my husband decided to see if I was up for coming into his business and doing the accounts for him and taking that role off of his dad's hands. And I did a bookkeeping course maybe 6 years ago, so I had a little understanding, but not a lot. And after a year of kind of doing the books and not really knowing why I was doing the things that I was tasked to do, we decided, right, I need to get onto a course. I need to really have a better understanding. So we kind of looked at a lot of online providers, and as you said, I actually took the free trial on Training Link, and that really helped me kind of see how it was running, so that I could actually feel confident on using the provider. And we decided to go down the AAT route, which has been fantastic. Actually, it's really every time I'm studying something, it actually goes in line with what my work. So I'm really getting the full benefit of understanding and putting it in practice. So and now I'm halfway through my level 3. So
halfway through level 3. So yeah, good points about the free trial. That's something we really encourage people to just have a look at our materials. You know,
yes,
we put them out there because we've got so much faith in them. Alina, did you use the free trial before you enrolled?
No, sorry. No.
That's fair enough. You got complete faith.
Yeah.
Didn't even need the free trial. That's
yeah. But it is there. You know,
it's there.
Some people think there's a hidden agenda with it or something like that. But no,
Yeah.
you can sign up for it online. You know, you just go in there, do it. We don't know what's going on, although you do. There's a tutor with it.
Yeah.
So if you do a test, you will get feedback from a tutor.
Yep.
So
yeah,
there's no obligation. We don't hound you or anything like that. You know, just have a go at it. Ask questions as you want.
So there was. I actually had a chat with Iona last week, and you'd actually paused. I think you'd paused your level 3 studies just briefly, hadn't you? Because I think you've got quite a busy time at the moment at work, haven't you?
Yes. So basically, we came to the end of the year, and there's a lot of basically stock take and a lot of work that came on, and I spend all my time with my daughters, so the only time I have to study or to work is in the evenings. So as soon as she goes to bed, I'm either working or studying, and it takes a lot out of you. So I found that just taking a step back from studying and going, right, I actually, because I'm quite I need to get things done fast kind of person, so I kind of recognized I needed to slow the pace down. And it's just nice to know that actually there's not that extra pressure of I would have to go to college and I'd have to go to class and I'd have an exam coming up. Well, actually, no, I don't. I can slow it down. I can focus on work. And now, you know, yesterday was my first time back studying, and I felt confident and ready. And that's, I think that's really important with studying. Especially something that's quite complex.
Does it help when you're working your way through it and you've got a job at the same time as well? Is it quite helpful when you encounter these topics in a work environment? You think, yes, okay,
yes,
I've already
completely. Even with the stock take, there wasn't really a system in place to keep an eye on what we calculated. Bought the stock at what price it was. So, I was trailing through loads of invoices to get the cost price, and there was just some items I just couldn't find. So I was able to actually put in practice and find the final accounts is to work out from margins and your markups and I actually was doing the exact. I just finished that, and then I was like, I need to work out the cost price. Well, I've got this figure and I've got that figure, so I need to just put the theory together and I'll be able to work it out. And that really helped me do my job. So it's amazing how much help it's been for me.
That's the thing. I mean, what you've just spoken about there, you can see what a powerful thing it is for a business. That now that it's opened your mind up to start looking at this and say, actually, how much are we paying for this? How much have we got in stock? How much stock have we got that's useless? Because that does happen. So you're on top of your finances all the time then, aren't you, by recording all of this? Whereas generally you just kind of have a look and think, that's okay. But it means now you're taking more control of that business. I think that's fantastic. And at the end of the day, that's what we encourage people to do. So, you need to take more control of your business, even if you are either do it yourself, learn how to do it yourself, or employ a bookkeeper or someone who knows how to do it, because what it costs for that it's cheap in comparison to what the money you can save or the extra money you can make in your business by employing someone who's professional at what they do and understands it. I think that's great what you said there, you know, that, and you must be looking at it, you're getting quite excited now. Thinking,
yeah, well, it's
now.
interesting because, you know, my husband's really not an accounts kind of guy, you know, and his dad's getting on, you know, he wants to retire. And so to be able to come in and actually really have a full understanding on management accounts and being able to, you know, he's forever trying to expand his business. So the better we can get the accounts in now and me to get a good understanding, the more growth the businesses are going to get, the better kind of baseline we're going to have. So it's amazing what Training Link has really kind of done for us, you know.
Yeah, your husband will definitely have to start giving you more money, I think.
Well, I agree.
Yeah, that's brilliant. It's really good to hear, you know, that hear it for real life, you know. We talk to people about these things because it means absolutely nothing until you actually do it. And I say the fact that you said that to me was great. I thought it was lovely to hear that you know, you're using these tools now that you've got to make that business better.
Did you find that when you approach your studies, did you find that you kind of did you set aside a certain number of hours per week, or, you know, because some students like to create study plans?
So I'm more like a every night kind of girl. It doesn't matter what night a week it is. I'm just like when I'm full into study mode, it's every single night I'll at least take an hour. And I was doing that throughout level 2, and it was easy enough to kind of do it that way. But I think with level 3, I think I need to tone it back a bit. So I think I need to have breaks. So I was looking at maybe doing Monday to Friday studying, and then Saturday and Sunday to kind of rest, because I think it's important it's a lot of information to take. So sometimes you need to let the information settle before you build upon it. And that's what I'm finding with level 3, is that I need to take in the information, kind of do some practical work on side of it, let it settle, and then build up more.
This allows you to have that control. That's
yes.
You're dictating the pace on when you're doing it. Obviously, you're being very structured and disciplined about this. Yes. You've got your end goal that you want to do.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show that if that was a college and you've got to do it certain days, you probably wouldn't be anywhere near where you are right now.
And you don't have, like, you've got your own self pressure, but that, you know, once you realize actually stop putting yourself through this pressure, you can actually relax through it and enjoy it better and feel more comfortable and at ease with your studies. Whereas if you're in a college environment, which I have studied, you've always got these deadlines and pressures that are outside, that are coming from your tutors. You know, the tutors from Training Link, you know, you can message back and forth and they're really quick at responding, but it's all about taking your time, and it's all about them making sure that you're ready and feeling comfortable before you move on to the next step. And that's really helpful.
Yeah. Okay. Same question again, really, to Alina. Just, did you find that did you have to structure your studies a little bit? Did you kind of set maybe some set hours during the week or weekends or something like that?
I can't do that, to be honest, because I'm working during the day and I have children, so I have to study only in the evening.
Yes.
But it's just when I'm waiting for the books, and when I'm receiving them, I'm just so happy because I'm just opening and I'm starting to look over them. Yeah, that's true. As Lauren said, that with level 3, it's a bit complicated and you need more time to focus and to process. And level 4, for me, it's really, really difficult, and only because of the writing task. But with Will's help and encouragement, I hope I will pass this one. Yeah.
You will.
Well done, Will.
You will.
I hope so. Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. Good stuff. So have you got any tips for people who are looking to study online? Alina?
tips.
Yeah.
Just enjoy and try to understand. I think if you start to learn by heart everything, you'll never go further. But if you start and try to learn, and if you do a mistake, try to understand why is mistake done, and try to read again the chapter, or I don't know. This is what I'm doing. When I'm doing, I love the green test from AAT and Training Link web support.
Yeah.
Because when I'm doing an assessment for each unit, I understand where I'm doing wrong and where I need to go back. So that's why I'm trying to not disturb her every time Training Link with my questions. I'm trying to find my own mistakes. So yeah, try to enjoy and try to understand everything. I think it's the best.
Okay. Same question to Iona. Any study tips? Oh, I think have we lost you? You're on mute, or I think we might have lost you.
Yeah. There we go. Is that better?
Yeah,
just this quite similar, you know, it's all about learning. So when you make a mistake, just to figure it out. And if you can't figure it out, ask your tutor, you know. Sometimes when you're in the box of studying, it's very hard to kind of come out and see where you're going wrong. But also utilize what you have, your resources, you know, as you said, Study Street, you know, on Facebook. If you're studying at 10 o'clock at night and you're struggling, you know, you don't have a tutor, but you've got a whole group of students who are probably studying at the same time. So just utilize the resources, and every resource there is, there's a reason for it. So use it. And that's what I would say.
100%. Right. I think that's basically it, isn't it? Really? I think that's very good. So thank you very much, Iona. Thank you very much, Alina. Much appreciated. Thanks for your help today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
So I'm just going to share my screen again, and we'll just share the details again of that special offer. So yeah.
And get in touch for a free trial.
Get in touch for a free trial. So yes, the AAT complete course package, special offer on that. So that's just save £150. That's just £1,695, and there is finance available. So just use the checkout code AAT webinar 150 for that. And if you just want to look at an individual level, so a level 2 or a level 3 or a level 4, you can save an extra £50 on that with the webinar code AAT webinar 50. These codes will expire on Friday, the 28th of January at 5 p.m. So you've got a bit of time there to kind of have a look. Plenty of time for you to get involved in the free trial as well. So, but yes, that's basically everything. So it looks like all the questions from the chat have actually been answered. Unless there are any other other questions?
Stephen or myself?
How much is just the level 2?
It's 685.
685, but of course you'll save an extra £50 if you use the
£50 off that, and it actually includes the AAT subscription and registration of 155.
Yeah.
So it's actually less than £500, really, what you're paying for the course itself.
Yeah. So just remember to use the checkout code AAT webinar 50 for that, so you can get an extra £50 off it. Any other questions? I think that might be it. Okay. So thank you very much to everyone who's joined us today. Thank you very much to all of our panelists. Thank you to Iona and Alina, and thank you very much to Jamie at AAT. Thank you very much. Bye.